There are a lot of things that happened during this campaign that I find to be a little weird and probably actually a little bit nefarious as well. I have a lot of concerns about why Elon Musk is doing what Elon Musk is doing. All right, guys. So recently, we've had a couple people that were in the chat asking whether or not we should be looking at recounts and whether or not Kamala Harris should be calling into question some of the tabulations that are happening in swing states. And I wanted to get on here and take a look at the different things that people are seeing on social media that they believe are bringing them to this conclusion that there is a possibility that some election fraud or interference had happened. Now, I don't have a problem with people calling for recounts. I didn't have a problem with Donald Trump calling for recounts. What I had a problem with Donald Trump was the fake elector scheme. And anybody that knows the fake elector scheme understands that that was far beyond just asking for a recount or bringing lawsuits against states because you disagreed with the way that they ran the election. I think that any stone that can be turned over should be turned over, and we should take a look and make sure that there was no type of election fraud, so that way we can make sure that our elections are fair. So let's get into a little bit of like what people were looking at on the internet, because the hills of social media have been alive with the sound of people calling for recounts. This is Joe Rogan recently on a podcast with Theo Vaughn talking about an app that Elon Musk had created that gave him the results of the election 4 hours before it was called.
Apparently, Elon created an app and he knew who won 4 hours before the results. So as the results were coming in, 4 hours before they called it, Dana White told me Elon was like, I'm leaving. It's over. Donald won.
Look, as far as that goes, that is weird. I mean, just the idea that Elon Musk has a special app that he has created for himself that somehow tabulates votes before the entirety of the voting is done is kind of insane. We had some other stuff that people were looking at here, and this is something that people have been calling into account about the fact that it seems like there's tons of Democratic voting ballots that show that they voted blue all the way down except for president, and then they voted Trump. So this person here goes a little bit into that as well.
Now look, I live in Pennsylvania, and this is North Carolina. I get it, but I have a question. So during this election, they did North Carolina's governor, and Josh Stein got 3,040,479 votes. But during that same election, Kamala Harris got 2,688,122 votes. So are you really trying to tell me that 352,357 Democrats decided to vote for the Democratic candidate for the governor, but not for the president? Yeah, I believe that.
So as far as that goes, that is, once again, kind of strange and something that should be looked into. Did Democratic voters truly dislike Kamala Harris so much that they were willing to vote blue down their ballot, vote blue for their governor, and then at the end choose not to vote blue for their president? That is a very interesting question, and it's as you get further into this and you look at all of the swing states, it seems as though it's a bit of a trend. And whether or not you think it's, hey, everything's normal, yeah, people just didn't like Kamala, or if you think that this is something that seems pretty interesting and seems kind of weird, I think that as far as, calling for a recount goes, like, this would be something that would 100% make me feel as the person that was running for the nomination that, yes, I would want to be recounting these states. So another thing that people brought up was that Starlink was used as the internet connection for many of these polling places. Why would you have a person that runs an internet service that's potentially going to get a spot in the administration be allowed to have anything to do with the tabulation of votes or the transmission of the tabulation of votes? Once again, it's a pretty strange thing. So I want to show you here. This is from ABC 30 Action News report, where they're talking about Tulare County seeing larger voter turnout during 2024 than the presidential election.
I just want to say thank you to all of our poll workers and our inspectors for making yesterday an amazing day. We didn't have long lines after 8 p.m. Everybody got processed and through those lines quickly, and that's due to all of their hard work and dedication that they do out at the poll sites.
Registrar Michelle Baldwin says access to connectivity was improved this year thanks to Starlink satellite internet. She adds early technical difficulties with the tabulator machine were quickly fixed and did not impact vote count.
It does seem strange when you hear things like there was an issue with the tabulation of the votes at the beginning, but don't worry, Starlink's got it. This is the type of thing that if these were, MAGA, if this was Trump running, there would be fervor over this. It would be insane. The amount of people right now, they would be burning down this polling place if this was the other side. But strangely, on the left, people are really quiet right now. And to be honest with you, I think that Joe Biden has always ran a very quiet campaign. He quietly got the Chips and Science Act passed. He quietly kept us out of a recession. He quietly brought back prisoners from Russia. So that doesn't say to me that there won't be any follow-up on these types of things. But at the same time, it does concern you when you hear things like that, and no one seems to be making any noise about it. There was one more thing that I wanted to point out to you, that this is also something that has been really big on the social media platforms right now, about whether there was potentially some tampering that also happened with some voting machines in Wisconsin. So this is in Milwaukee.
Recently it became aware that there were some of the high-speed tabulator machines where the door was not properly closed. There were seals on the door. Because the door was not properly closed, some of the seals got loose. Once it came to my attention, it was probably about this late this morning, we immediately brought a Democrat and Republican representative and went through all of the machines to review them and confirm that there was no tampering, that there were no flash drives inside, and then proceeded to do a bipartisan sealing of those machines, making sure that the door was actually properly locked. We replaced it with the seal. It was all recorded in our robust chain of custody.
Whether it's Elon Musk's involvement in this election, nefarious or not, with the use of Starlink, whether it's the fact that Elon Musk had an app that tabulated the results 4 hours and allowed him to leave early from Donald Trump's party, whether it's the strange enigma of Democrats voting blue all the way down the ticket just to select Donald Trump as the president of the United States, there's a lot to be looked into here. And that's not even to mention before the results were tabulated, all the ballot burning that was going on, where someone was driving around burning ballot boxes as well. So as far as I'm concerned, look, I'm not a big conspiracy theory person, but I am big on having a election that has integrity. And I have said that for the last 4 years. I said that about Donald Trump. I said that I had no problem with him going through the election results with a fine-tooth comb. My main problem with him was how he handled the fake elector scheme and attempted to get Mike Pence to not certify the results. So, do I think that Kamala Harris and her campaign should be calling for recounts? Yes, I do. I think that there is a avenue for Kamala Harris to take that is not conspiratorial. It is not in any way divisive. It is also something that 100%, if Donald Trump had lost, he would be doing right now. So as far as my opinion goes, yes, there should be recounts done. Yes, this election should be gone through and investigated specifically for things like what was going on with Elon Musk paying people $1 million to sign up for petitions. There are a lot of things that happened during this campaign that I find to be a little weird and probably actually a little bit nefarious as well. I have a lot of concerns about why Elon Musk is doing what Elon Musk is doing. But you let me know. I don't know. You tell me. What do you think? Do you think that Democrats should be being loud and asking for recounts in all of these swing states? Do you think that all of these different strange things that are going on should be being investigated by the Democrats? And what do you think that Joe Biden should do before he gets out of office? Is there anything that he can do to mitigate this type of interference on the part of someone, say, running in an administration, and at the same time being the part of how the election results are being transmitted? You guys tell me. All right, guys. Well, you guys let me know in the comments. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And if you haven't liked and subscribed to this video, please do so. And I'll see you next time.